Hello everyone. Today we are going to start a topic which is highly misunderstood by UGs and few PGs as well. So the topic of discussion is multiple sclerosis. Okay, let me write it. Multiple sclerosis. Okay, yeah. So what does this term even mean? Let's go through the basic English, core English. Multiple, that means many, right? Sclerosis. Sclerosis means hardening, hardening of something, and like damage, okay? Damage causing hardening. And this term is related to the nerves. So there is a like nerve hardening due to damage, okay? Recurrent damages. And why this damage occurs, the causes of it can be several, like as we all know, this is an autoimmune condition. So self antibodies can't recognize our own very cells, and they target us as they think we are a foreign entity. Okay, so as we are talking about multiple sclerosis, so it's very important to know the basics. What does it even mean, and what is this like? We have already gone through the basic English, but what is multiple sclerosis in a neurological perspective or neurological term? Okay, to understand it, let's go through the definition, which is of NIH, that is the National Institute of Health. So the multiple sclerosis is a chronic autoimmune disease affecting the central nervous system, CNS, and is characterized by inflammation, demyelination, gliosis, and neuronal loss. Very, very important. Okay, so this condition, the condition of multiple sclerosis manifests with a wide range of neurological symptoms such as vision impairment, numbness, tingling, focal weakness, bladder and bowel dysfunction, and cognitive impairment. Okay, and the list goes on and on, because as we already discussed, this is affecting the central nervous system. So the central nervous system is the root of every, it is a communicating route. All these nerves passes through this, so if the nerves are getting infected, all these things will be getting, hampered, all the activities will be getting hampered. So the list, you should not be afraid of the list, this goes on and on. But before that, let's understand the basic chemistry behind it. Let's see through a neuron picture. Okay, single neuron picture. Okay, this is this, as we have been familiar with this image since our 10th 12th boards days. So this is something which we know. So see the layers. Okay, the layers are very important, as it is a demyelinating condition. So that means the myelin cell, this yellow color myelin cell is getting destructed. Okay, there is a demyelination. So if we remove this myelin cell, what we are getting exposed here is the axon, which is present beneath it. Okay, this axon. Okay, getting it? Yeah, this axon. So this axon is also getting blockage. Okay, there is it is open, and with recurrent damages are occurring on the axon, and there is axonal destruction. There is some term called conduction block is happening at this axonal level, and there is hyperpolarization, leading in increase in potassium of the cells, exposing it outside. Okay, and this around it there is something called BBB, as we know this is like blood brain barrier. So even there is increased permeability to the blood brain barrier, as there is something called T cells, we know that, the immunity that we have, and there is something called B cells. Pardon my writing, I'm not great at it, but yeah, I guess I am great at explaining. So this is something called T cells. Okay, and this is something called B cells. Okay, now we are getting it. So on T cells, there is a you know thing called integrin, which is like it binds to the T cells, okay, and it allows the T cells, as it is an autoimmune condition, so it allows T cells with this binding to just imperforate this blood brain barrier, and so there is like increased permeability, and it further goes and damages it even further, the axon and all, and we can see there is like conduction block. Okay, and myelin is already destructed, it is a demyelinating condition, and same wise likewise as the BBB is now very permeable, so these B cells also go and just cause destruction. So there is like dual destruction. These cells which were supposed to protect us against the very antigens are destroying our own neurons. So you're getting the point. So this is an autoimmune condition. That's how we know this is autoimmune, as our own immunity is acting against us and we are exposed to a higher vulnerable stage, as if our own persons go against us. Can you just figure the conspiracy here? So I'm just being little humorous, but yeah, overall this is an autoimmune condition and demyelinating condition. Now I guess you have got the point, है ना? I'm repeating it again. So as the myelin cell, this yellow structure is getting destructed, so it is a demyelinating condition. Further, the axons are exposed, the axonal blockages occurs, so there is no or very less conduction occurring. There is a conduction block due to the exposure of this axons and axonal damage, and it further damages even at a greater fold, as this blood brain barrier is now getting hampered. There is like passages occurring due to this T cells and this B cells which are supposed to protect us, but they are acting against us because we are like autoimmunity happening. So these further in the presence of T integrins that bind to T cells allow the blood brain barrier to perforate and further damage the axons. Okay, and now in this